Okay, what's up, guys? Quick Velcro ASMR for some of you guys. Now, I just finished with my workout, and at the end of the workouts, I like to think about you win every fight that you walk away from. And what does that mean? Because I know a lot of people, and I've been at that place in life where you think, you don't want to be a punk, you don't want to. No, you win every fight that you walk away from. Let's think about the things that you have to win through a fight. You win the fight. Maybe you gain a little respect from either the person that you fight or the people around who are like, ooh, he's tough, I don't want to mess with him. But what do you have to lose when you engage in physical altercations in a non-sanctioned or competitively controlled environment, such as the street, road rage, a bar, kids, sporting events, professional sporting? We see it all over the place. What do you have to lose? One, I say your self-respect, because you didn't allow yourself to stay in control to the point where outside of self-defense, you just lost your mind. And we see it all over the place in social media. You should not be fighting a fast food worker because they forgot your curly fries. There's no excuse for that. That's a complete loss. It seeks to wonder what is going on in your mind when that's the problem, because that can't be the ultimate problem. What it speaks to is other places in life where we are often seeing people struggle, and then it all plays itself out, and that was the final straw. But I can't imagine that somebody would want to enter into combat with a worker at a place that they enjoy patronizing, all because of that. Now, it's not just that. It's other places, like getting cut off in traffic, things like that. We've all either done it accidentally or had it done. And it's still not a place to enter into wanting to physically harm somebody. So I say our self-control and our self-respect that way. You can't find yourself to be, or you shouldn't find yourself to be in a place where that's an acceptable way to engage with other people. What's something else you have to lose? How about your freedom if you are arrested? Now, you might get released within a few hours and things like that, but do you honestly, is that really what you had planned for your day? Hey, I think I'm going to go and be detained by the law and taken to a building out of a place, out of the direction that I was going to go to, have all my personal information put out there, pictures taken of me, and sat in a room for an undisclosed amount of time until you can come up with money, which is another thing you're going to lose. You're going to lose some money trying to get yourself out, and then just your time. What were you headed towards doing? Did you miss picking up your children? Did you miss going to work? Did you miss anything else that you have going on? So you've lost time, which is our most precious commodity, because we're not guaranteed a certain amount of time in this life. So how much time do you want to spend being detained? So again, there's another part where you lose. And that can exacerbate itself. That can be an extended piece, because what happens if the person is really hurt? If you really hurt somebody, you're talking, or if, God forbid, somebody dies, now you're talking about prison time. You're talking about manslaughter charges, potentially worse. And manslaughter charges, depending on what the circumstance, but that's probably, 3 to 8 years of your life spent with people you didn't plan to, spent with people who may try to instill that same code of violence upon you that you did on somebody else. Not to mention the money that you're losing, probably through court fees. Not to mention the money your family's losing through, now there's a provider who's not in the home. What your children are losing by just not having a parent there. What your family has to go through, because really when you do the time, your family and those closest to you do it with you. What are we winning? A small amount. What do we say? You win the fight and you win some form of respect, but from who? And in the long run, I would dare to say that a lot of people who have had to go through a lot of things, maybe not prison time, but paying for somebody else's medical bills, that arrest, or a lot of other things, it's not worth it in the long run. Is it really worth it in the long run? And again, I'm not talking about like the worst circumstances. Somebody touched your child, or this or that, or you found somebody broken into your home. I'm talking about the places where we can control ourselves, and we should in those other circumstances as well. But when you're talking about winning every fight that you can walk away from, sometimes it's just better to say, I'm not doing it. If you're not satisfied, depending on where you're at, if you're not satisfied, you can go talk to somebody else about it. Make a complaint about me. If it's a work-related thing, if it's at school, hey, then talk to the principal, talk to the teacher. If you don't have those outs, then you also just say, look, if I've cut you off, or they follow you or whatever, look, call a cop then. If I was driving erratically, call a cop, but I'm not going to enter into a combat with you. Like that, there's just places where people need to blow off their steam, and sometimes we are that target, but it doesn't mean that fighting fire with fire is the key to it. I subscribe to water with fire. Put that fire out. Now, it doesn't mean that the water is immediately not going to get hot. Our levels are allowed to rise too, because it's like, you shouldn't be, no, don't talk to me that way. But let's leave it at that, where we establish a boundary that shows our level to say, I'm not going to tolerate this from you, but I'm certainly not going to go down the path that you are trying to go down or take me down. I don't know. What are your thoughts on this? I think that there's a lot more that you have to lose than to gain by just going into some sort of physical altercation in a random place with a random person. Also, you don't know what that person is capable of doing. That's the other thing. Sometimes we think like, okay, you fight with honor, you knock a person down, and that's it. No, that doesn't always happen. And are they the only one? Are you fighting one person, or are you fighting five? There's that too. So there's just so much more to lose, and you don't want to be the person who has the five people jump in, and now you are responsible for somebody else's actions who was there trying to stick by your side or defend you or get your back. So there's a lot to it, but again, I'd like to hear your thoughts. Ace up the sleeve, advice, comment, experience, and hopefully a lot of you don't have too much experience in this, but I do know that more recently I've been blessed to have the emotional intelligence and just the common sense to say, I'm going to walk away from what this person is trying to pull me into. Especially if you're not scared, then there's nothing, that's your flex. If I were to say that there was a flex, it's having people jump in your face and they don't worry you is a bigger flex. I'm at a calm place, and that's where I'm going to leave it. So again, would love to hear your thoughts, and hopefully this finds everybody in a place, pursuit, or beginnings of total health, mind, body, and soul. As always, please hit the like. You can hit the dislike. I won't be mad at you. And share the content and the subscribe button. We'll see you guys soon. Peace, love, unity, solidarity. And don't forget to check out Impact Athletics Association. I'll leave the link in the description.